Episode 226. New Roommate. Mary looked disdainfully, listening to his comment. Taking advantage of this, Jackson tried to move into her closer. She pushed him and warned, "Stop it, we have guests!" "Then don't seduce me." He grabbed her hand and bit it. "Let's go greet the guests." "You go first. I want to get a little more ready. You haven't let me. It's distracting." Pulling her up, he put on his burgundy suit jacket. "I will wait for you." Mary sat in front of the vanity mirror to do her makeup. After she was ready, she made sure Jackson was not paying attention to her and snuck into the bathroom with her cell phone. She sent a text message to Harry Miller. "You can come now. I'm waiting for you with Serena here." There was then a quick reply. "Yes, be there soon." He was about to reach. Mary couldn't help but curl her lips. She opened the door with the phone in her hand. Humming a little song, she grabbed Jackson's arm and said, "Let's go." His eyes fell on her mobile phone, and he vaguely felt something was wrong. But he did not say anything, and both left for their party. Miranda had taken a flight back to Austin, and it had been a turbulent one. When she arrived at home, she collapsed on the bed. After sleeping for a while, she heard the doorbell. She covered her head with the blanket, but the doorbell seemed to be ringing. With a head of messy hair, she went to open the door. At first glance, she felt she must be going blind. Her first reaction was to close the door. However, it was blocked by Steven, and he did not budge. She bristled. "Why are you so freaking annoying? Can't you just disappear?" He didn't care, but instead took his suitcase inside and looked at her apartment. He nodded. "It's quite clean." She noticed the suitcase in his hand and was shocked. Putting one foot on his suitcase, she asked, "Wait, what do you want?" "I've decided to come stay with you for some time," he said matter-of-factly, his face not even red. "You're not welcome to stay with me! Leave now!" Miranda had never seen such a brazen person. Hadn't he sensed that she was not interested? If she could, she would push him over the terrace and not feel bad about it. Did he really think she was joking? She sneered. "Yes, I transferred the money to you. Have you seen it?" "Well," Steven said, "I also transferred some to you. Didn't you get it?" "When?" 10 minutes ago." She snorted quietly and turned to check the phone. She had a text from him back mentioning Steven Wrong had sent her $100,000. She was so shocked that her phone almost fell out of her hand. She turned to look at him and exclaimed, "Are you crazy? Why did you transfer so much money to me?" Steven walked in with his suitcase and took it for granted. "That was my rent, but I don't know how to cook, so the burden is on you, Miss Landlord." A long time ago, Miranda had mentioned to Jake that her apartment was huge, and she wouldn't mind getting a roommate just so she could share the space and get some rent. But this man, never. Miranda tossed her phone aside and threw him out. "I don't need a roommate! Get out! This is trespassing and I can call the police!" "But I paid the rent. You can't drive me away." "I will return it to you! Who wants your rent?" Miranda picked up the phone and tried transferring the money back to him. However, at that inopportune moment, the banking servers were down and she couldn't wire him the money. Taking advantage of this, Steven had already opened the door and walked inside with his suitcase. "Hey!" She almost fainted. "You!" He entered her living room and looked around. In the center of the ceiling there was a vine chandelier. A laptop, a pot of succulents, and a small bookshelf packed with books were placed on the desk. A medium-sized cupboard was placed next to a European-style couch, looking very elegant and clean. The decoration of the living room was also quite tasteful, showing the taste of a mature and intellectual woman. He walked towards the bedrooms and peeked in. Miranda's bedroom was spacious and beautifully done up. It was minimalist in its decor, but elegant. He then walked towards the guest room that he was supposedly to be living in. Was a smaller space, but had the essentials. A single bed, a wardrobe, a large window, and medium-sized work table. But right now it was filled with things. Stephen looked around and nodded. Not bad. It's just the bed is a little small. Miranda rushed in and pushed him out, roaring, "Stephen!" She used the storage room next door for all kinds of things that she did not use often. But this room was about the same size as her bedroom, and all the supplies were just piled up in one corner. He put down the suitcase and walked to the window to pull the curtains open. The dust immediately flew up into the air. She disregarded him and immediately tried the bank transfer again. Fortunately, it went through, and she breathed a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Stephen was making himself at home and went into her bathroom. There was a fresh lemon fragrance. When he walked in, he saw a mirror and a pile of cosmetics in front of it. Further inside, the toilet and shower were separated by a glass wall. Very good. Very clean. His cell phone vibrated and he received a confirmation text about her transfer of funds to him. He chuckled at this and typed something into the phone. After Miranda had finished her transferring, she wanted to chase him away. She was about to prepare a huge speech and kick him out, when her cell phone beeped and she got even more irritated. This time, Stephen had transferred $5 million into her account. What the? She was so mad that she went to look for him. He came out of the bathroom with his phone, looking satisfied. Nice apartment. Please look after me in the future, Miss Landlord. Since you like this place so much, I will sell it to you. This house has a total value of over $2 million. Since you gave me $5 million, you can have it. I will move out immediately. You won't move. Stephen looked at her. You won't move. This is your apartment, Miranda, and you are paying through your nose to repay the loan to the bank. How exactly will you leave? Isn't this why you wanted a roommate? Miranda stared at him, speechless. Now that you have charged me $5 million, if you still choose to drive me away, I can call the police to accuse you of fraud. Ah! She screamed as she was about to go crazy. How can you be so shameless and rude? Obviously you did that voluntarily. What fraud? A lady should not curse. He looked at her calmly. Get out! Even her hands were shaking. Turning the phone on, she was going to transfer the money back to him again. He only glanced at it and said quietly, If you transfer it to me, I will give you $10 million. The next time I will transfer $20 million. It doubles each time. Would you like to try it? She was amused. Is there no daily transfer limit to your account? Then another thought came to her mind. Even if there was no limit, how did Stephen have so much money? Where did it come from?